Minasama ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, and thank you to all our viewers here today at Pacifico Yokohama for joining us for this session. Before we get started with today's discussion, I'd like to welcome our panelists, Vijay Tewari, the Director of Product Management for Google Cloud Platform. Welcome, Vijay. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Vijay. And here with me on stage in Yokohama, we have Anirban Chakravartti, the Senior Vice President of Enterprise Cloud Sales for the Cloud Business Unit of Rakuten Symphony. Thank you very much, Anirban.
Good morning, and thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. And Vijay, thank you for joining the panel discussion.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Anirban. A pleasure to have you here today. Today, we'll learn about how Rakuten Symphony and Google Cloud are enabling customers across industries to deploy, operate, and manage AI-based applications at the edge. Rakuten Symphony and Google Cloud have partnered to ensure applications at the edge have the required speed, intelligence, and processing power to deliver localized connectivity and storage on-premise. This solution is now supporting a global retailer with more than 40,000 stores worldwide, delivering a new level of dynamism in its operations and a superior customer experience to millions of customers. In this session, we'll also hear about the vast opportunities that exist ahead for the edge cloud opportunities in the Japanese market. Vijay and Anirban, thank you very much for joining us today at Rakuten AI Optimism. Anirban, my first question goes to you. So, Rakuten Cloud has cultivated a reputation as being a global leader in commercial scale edge cloud in telecom. In simple terms, can you explain to our audience here today what Rakuten Cloud does, why it has already been successful in telecom, and why its products and services are gaining traction in industries beyond telecom today?
So, James, it's a very good question. So if you look back around about 15 years back, people moved their infrastructure, enterprises moved their infrastructure from on-prem to cloud. And there was a reason for doing that. The reason was you want elasticity, you want burst. That was perfect. Fast forward to right now, with AI coming into the play, the decision-making process of enterprises need to be at the edge where the customer is sitting. You name it retail, you require manufacturing, you talk about banking. The decision has to be so fast for two things. First is you want to drive efficiency, you want to drive productivity, and you want to drive scale and security. And our platform, in collaboration with Google, drives that, and that's the reason people are adopting us globally.
Excellent. Thank you very much for getting us started there, Anirban. Over to you, Vijay. So once again, thank you very much for joining us here at Rakuten AI Optimism. Could you please give our audience some background on Google Cloud? What is its value proposition? And obviously, more broadly speaking, AI is a very important part of Google's ambitions and strategy today. But how does Edge Cloud fit into that narrative?
Thanks, James. Really great question. First of all, I'll lead by talking about, Google has a long history of innovating in artificial intelligence. Gemini and the tools that Google is producing are well known and globally utilized all over the world at this point in time. What we are trying to do is to bring the innovation that we have developed over many, many years and bring that to customers through Google Cloud. We have large customers using Google Cloud to develop AI applications inside Google Cloud. But as Oni was pointing out, there is a desire and need to bring this infrastructure and AI applications at the edge. Think about a retail store which is trying to use automated inventory management using video feeds from the store. Or think about a fast food restaurant which is trying to improve their loyalty program. They want to improve the customer ordering experience at the edge. All of these require new infrastructure which can sustain the onslaught from these new types of applications that are getting built. And Google, being the innovator that it is now bringing the infrastructure and learnings from the public cloud so that this infrastructure can now be deployed at the edge and in customers' data centers. At the edge is where the innovation that Rakuten Cloud has developed and where Google's partnership with them shines. So we are now in partnership with Rakuten Cloud, bringing a product called Google Distributed Cloud to the edge, which allows customers to deploy their AI-based applications on this new infrastructure that both of us have partnered to bring to market.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Vijay. Back to you, Anirban. So can you tell us a bit about the Rakuten Google partnership in cloud, the problems you're trying to solve for customers, and how is this partnership enabling new capabilities, particularly in terms of data processing at the edge? And perhaps you can also touch upon the response that we've received so far from customers and some of the outcomes, indeed, that you've delivered jointly.
Sure. To add to what Vijay was talking about, Google relationship is a very, very strategic partnership with Rakuten Cloud. We started this journey not yesterday, 7 years back. So when we started this, the important aspect for the enterprise customers in Japan to understand is we work at the engineering level when the product is being designed. We validate the product, we test the product, and we make sure when the entire package is delivered to the customer, it is all pre-certified and pre-validated. And Google has a very, very stringent way to do it. And we are extremely proud to share Google Distributed Cloud connected servers are running on Rakuten Cloud software-defined storage. So that's one aspect of it. The areas where we are seeing opportunities for us is at the edge, new applications are coming. What we are providing is whatever you are doing at the cloud at the hyperscale level, you can get the same features at the edge level, which drives efficiency, productivity, better customer experience, and finally for enterprises is, can I drive more profitability with all these? So this is the entire spectrum of things we are offering in working with Google. Now, as far as you asked, the second question is where we are seeing success. If you look from our perspective, we are seeing success globally in the retail side, in fast-moving consumer goods sides. We have started looking into logistics. So these are the markets we are seeing massive potential for us, where we can expand and work together with Google.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Back to you, Vijay. So more broadly speaking, where do you believe the edge market, the edge cloud market is going based on Google's perspective? Can we expect to see an increase in data processing being delivered at the edge? What kind of customer adoption do you see on the horizon? And maybe you can also talk about some of the opportunities you see in the Japanese market and how Google is adapting its offerings to meet the needs of Japanese customers.
So I think I'd start by first asking ourselves, why does the edge exist? Why do we need computing, storage, and infrastructure at the edge? So as the cloud evolved, it became very abundantly clear that as customers' applications run, they need network proximity to where the data is being generated. They need network proximity to where the customer is interacting with the system. When you look at it from that perspective, you very quickly realize that whether it's a retail store, whether it's a manufacturing unit, whether it happens to be a fast food restaurant, you require infrastructure at the edge close to where the action is happening. Just imagine if you're gathering video feeds from a security camera that surrounds a retail store. If you want to do AI-based image processing on that video stream, and if you have to take that video stream back to the cloud, public cloud, process it there and then bring it back, that network bandwidth that is required is expensive. So rather than doing it in the cloud, you train your models in the cloud, bring the model to the edge, and then do inference over the live video stream at the edge using the power of Google Distributed Cloud and Rakuten software-defined storage. So that's prototypically, that's the kind of architecture that we are seeing evolve in this distributed environment where you can do large-scale training, RAGs, and customization in the cloud, but the actual inferencing happens at the edge where the data is being generated. So that's the thesis behind why why edge computing exists. And Google Distributed Cloud Servers, as Oni was pointing out, is Google's product that we have built in partnership with Rakuten that provides this infrastructure at the edge. Now, we are seeing opportunities in a wide variety of industries. Retail is definitely one of the largest areas that we are seeing. Just imagine in the US, you have these retailers which have thousands of presence across the country. And in Japan, when I was there, last year, just imagine a 7-Eleven, right, which has large number of stores across Japan. Now, if a retailer like that would like to be able to provide innovation at their stores, at their edge, that's where the power and capability that Google Distributed Cloud brings starts to shine through. So retailers, banks, fast food restaurants, and manufacturing are some of the key industries and verticals that we are seeing tremendous amount of excitement with Google Distributed Cloud.
Thank you very much, Vijay. I mean, you could also add to that by saying, I suppose, things like branch offices, factory floors, there's all manner of use cases for this solution, right?
Absolutely. I mean, branch is a very big, so bank branches, which are small and remote, they absolutely need that similar infrastructure that you actually get in their main branches. Absolutely, that's the kind of places where Google Distributed Cloud shines.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Back to you, Anirban. So it's a similar kind of question to you, I suppose. What are your main thoughts on Japan's enterprise cloud opportunity more broadly? And in your perspective, how are edge cloud solutions and AI in combination accelerating those opportunities?
See, Rakuten is deeply rooted in Japan. We have been here, we have committed to this business in this country, and we started from here. So our roots are here, we understand the market very well. If you look from opportunity-wise, as far as technology adoption is concerned and automation is concerned, Japan has been on the forefront of all these activities. We believe that where we are seeing these large organization, multinational companies driving the change at the edge is helping them to increase their customer satisfaction. And I, being from Rakuten Mobile, I know customer satisfaction is very, very high in priority as far as any organization is concerned to be successful. So personally, I believe there is a massive opportunity here with the footprint of retail stores, fast-moving consumer goods, factories, manufacturing, and as Vijay mentioned, the AI will enable higher efficiency by using the technology. And one thing I would like to add to Vijay's point, when a box which we are developing in collaboration with Google, as Vijay mentioned, when it gets delivered to the customer, the entire food chain of the product which has been created is all validated and certified. So customer need not to do anything. Everything is delivered in pick, pack, and ship situation. You plug it in, apply the applications, and things will work. That's the way we have built it. And for scale. So as you mentioned, 40,000 stores, we can run it at scale from a remote automated location. That's the power of the product.
Absolutely. And it's also a case of delivering real-time data inferencing at the edge.
Yep.
That's it. So a wide variety of benefits there. And like you say, ultimately resulting in a better customer experience and indeed, hopefully, improved bottom line. Thank you very much. So back to you, Vijay. So we've kind of touched upon this to some degree, but let's go into a bit more detail about some of the verticals that we can actually, or this solution could benefit. So edge computing is, of course, becoming very important for real-time data processing in a wide variety of industries. But which industries excite you the most and give you the greatest cause for optimism in this regard? And how are Rakuten and Google Cloud collaborating to deliver those solutions for specific industries?
So I think I always like to start from the customer, right? One of the things that struck me whenever I've traveled to Japan is the quality of customer service, regardless of what the store is. Whether it's a bank, whether it's a doctor's office, whether you walk into a retail store, small, big, large, doesn't matter. Whether you walk into a gas station, the quality quality of customer service is exemplar. Now, if you start with that premise that the Japanese retailers are trying to provide to their customer, our attempt was to say, what infrastructure can we provide to those retailers so that they can build richer and richer applications so they can get better and better at providing even better customer service to their customers. And if you look at it from that perspective, very quickly you realize that retail, manufacturing, and fast food restaurants, besides the bank branch retail that we talked about, are a great set of customer verticals that Google Distributed Cloud and Rakuten can actually bring to bear. And what really excites me is once we have this infrastructure in place, which takes the burden away of the operational cost and management of the infrastructure, and allows the customers, the Japanese customers, to bring innovation, which they are known for, so that they can build these rich set of applications which solve unmet customer needs while taking away the burden of infrastructure from them is what I'm most optimistic for and looking forward to learn from and see in the Japanese market.
Thank you very much, Vijay. Certainly a message that's very on brand with what we've discussed here at Rakuten AI Optimism in a number of other sessions. Back to you, Anirban. So let's talk about some examples of how AI can run on top of edge computing, and how do you think this will deliver improved outcomes for customers, and why is this transformation happening more broadly?
So, as Vijay was mentioning, see, what is really happening in the industry, let's take the technology piece out of the discussion for a second. End of the day, there are three basic principles a business enterprise is looking for. If I'm moving from my current environment and transforming to something new, am I driving more efficiency? Am I driving better customer experience? And with all that, am I making the complexity come down, which allows my productivity as well as my bottom line to look better? If you take that as a premise, AI plays a pivotal role in the entire thing, as we were discussing before. If you look from our standpoint, what we are bringing to the table is that worry of infrastructure we are basically taking away from their mindset. I am providing, Google and Rakuten Cloud and is providing an infrastructure which takes that operational piece out of your thought process and gives you a platform which you can focus on your business and not worry about the infrastructure. That's what we are trying to, we have taken all the problem statement out and we are learning, as we are saying, as we are going, we are learning. That's what we are trying to do. The other thing which I believe which is going to be huge, there's a lot of Japanese organizations who are planning or basically have a very large footprint outside Japan. The same relationship can be leveraged there with the partnership which we are driving here. So there's a win-win for everybody in this, and we can provide that basic infrastructure to support Japanese enterprises.
Thank you very much. I think I'll stick with you actually for now, Anirban. Just the next question to you. I suppose looking ahead, what are you most looking forward to in the next phase of the Rakuten Google Cloud partnership, and how are you, more broadly speaking, hoping to help Japanese enterprises unlock new value from their data and cloud investments?
That's an excellent question. So if you look from our organization standpoint, we are working committedly with Google team here in Japan to drive this adoption rate faster and make sure it becomes ubiquitous when it comes to deployment, if you will. So we believe that with the work which we have been doing, the customer success discussions which we are having, the engagement with the customers which we are having, which will drive the adoption rate faster and make the transition more faster, because we have learned a lot while deploying these deployments globally, and we can replicate those in Japan. That's number one. Second is, if enterprises in Japan would like to replicate the same technology elsewhere, they need not to start from scratch. We can provide that as a service also, because you want to make sure enterprises outside Japan, which are basically trying to expand, can take that same footprint outside. So that's number two. And third is, while working with the Google team here, we are collaborating very closely to go after specific markets, as Vijay was talking about, so that we can provide that service in a much more cohesive way.
Thank you very much, Anirban. So Same question to you, Vijay. What excites you most about this partnership? What can we expect from the next phase from your point of view? And again, how are you hoping to help Japanese enterprises unlock new value?
So let me start by a point that Ani touched on. Now, Google has vast experience in running infrastructure. We run infrastructure in our data centers at scales which are vastly beyond, uh, politely speaking, most customers can dream of running. It is massive scale, right? So we have learned over decades on what it takes to keep this infrastructure operational. We know how to statistically model how errors happen. We know how to build a system that can respond to errors, respond to updates. So we know how to build and operate this infrastructure. What we are doing is taking this learning and in partnership with Rakuten Cloud, bringing a platform to you which bakes in all these learnings. And most importantly, we are taking the responsibility of operating this infrastructure for you, right? So that takes away all the challenges that customers generally have in operating this kind of infrastructure at scale. You get Google's sort of expertise, you get the Google SREs that can handle it for you, and you get the performance that comes by virtue of the Rakuten Cloud software-defined storage, which is baked into the product. So now that you have an infrastructure which takes away the burden, now that leaves all the resources with the ISVs and the Japanese customers to think about the new class of applications that they can build on. So they can now target and focus their resources on customer-facing innovation that they can bring to the market. We are bringing to market, infrastructure which is GPU enabled. So now you can think about all the new class of applications that you can build now that you have this streamlined infrastructure, and you don't have to worry whether that infrastructure is deployed in 10 stores, 5,000 stores, or 20,000 stores. It is Google's responsibility to manage and operate that infrastructure. You focus on building the innovative applications that you bring to customers. And I'm super excited to see what the Japanese customers will do once they have this infrastructure in their hand. So let's all get together, let's learn, and from that learning, bring forth the innovation that Japan is famous for. I'm really excited about this opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Vijay. And thank you, Anirban, as well, for helping us to tell one of the most important stories as part of the Rakuten Symphony story more broadly. Indeed, the Rakuten Cloud-Google Distributed Cloud partnership is delivering outcomes for customers across the world at the edge in real time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening today. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Thank you.